What's good, y'all? This is Abwon. This is another edition of Before You Watch. I had other reviews lined up, but here's the thing about films releasing in theaters, but other films releasing on streaming platforms. Before the pandemic, I used to know every week what I was about to do a review for because everything was dropping pretty much the same weekend. Now it's like, oh, if this is in theaters, I didn't know because I thought this was dropping on Hulu or Disney Plus, HBO Max, X, Y, and Z. So now here we are. I saw the trailer. I said I gotta watch it. I started seeing a lot of BTS and stuff of the training and things like that. I'll talk about that later. Either way, I said I gotta watch it. Movies like this need to be made. I did a TikTok video talking about the Emmett Till movie that's coming out and how I feel like we don't need that movie and nobody asked for it. And movies like Hidden Figures need to be, more movies like Hidden Figures need to be made. Woman King is right up there with it. So let me just jump right into it. Oh, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell. So let me just jump right into it. Here's a quick synopsis here. This film is based on true events. And if you do study the history, I'm just going to let you know right now, this tribe in Africa, the state in Africa, they're extremely wealthy. They were part of the slave trade. So I'm just going to throw that out there for people that do not know. Some people said they don't want to watch it because of X, Y, and Z. I get it, whatever. They were part of the slave trade. This film, they're moving away from the slave trade and they want to start getting into trading palm oil, but there's a threat to their way of life. They're trying to do X, Y, and Z. They want to destroy the state, the country, things like that. I love the fact that the women were actually training for this film, right? So I saw a video, they were doing like boxing, kickboxing, sword fighting, they were doing a lot of exercises or they jump over stuff. This is like a very practical effects movie. And I love it because films like this, I feel like CGI don't do it. It'll just take away from it. The women, their bodies, it's crazy. It's crazy. They're athletic, but yet they're muscular at the same time, but yet they're extremely feminine. They're still sexy. Even though I hate to use that adjective, but it just is what it is. They're still women, they're very attractive. No BBLs in sight, you feel me? They have six-pack abs. I know Viola Davis is in her 60s. She's got six-pack abs. She looks just as good as the women that are like in their 30s, things like that. I've seen women, there's two actresses in this film that were both in the Doctor Strange movie, so that's dope to see them. It's a little difficult to understand the accent at first because they talk so fast and the accents are so strong, but the story isn't as involved to the point where, it's like Game of Thrones where it's like, I gotta rewind this because I think I missed something. Even if you can't really understand what they're saying at one particular scene, you'll understand exactly what's going on. It's just that easy to just follow it. The story is I don't want to say it's simple, but it's easy, definitely easy to follow. However, there's multiple storylines within this movie. There's movies within the movie. But yeah, no, there's multiple storylines within the movie, which I feel is extremely dope because now they have character development to some degree. There's a lot of characters where you root for them, even if you don't know too much about them, you do root for them. There are some good action scenes. The action scenes are very intense. Even though it's a film and they're part of the slave trade, I don't think I heard any racial slurs, like, any crazy racial slurs. You don't hear the N-word. Nobody's calling anybody boy or anything like that. There's nothing egregious like, Quentin Tarantino movies. There's nothing egregious. So that's one thing I did like about it. I didn't want that to like overshadow the movie. Like, oh gosh, it's about to be nothing but racism and slavery. That's really not what they really don't really address that too much. It's really just about the soldiers, Viola Davis, and training and, them accomplishing the task at hand. The cinematography is amazing. Like the composition, the lighting, the angles, everything is great. And it does it very simple. There's no like crazy like movements that you see like in John Wick movies and things like that. It's just very simple, but it gets to the point. Now, with that being said, this movie is PG-13. It's not rated R, and I felt it should have been rated R because movies like this, The action scenes I felt should have been gorier. I just felt they should have been gorier. You know, you see people, they'll show you someone getting shot in the stomach, but they won't show like someone's back getting sliced open or something like that. I mean, these people are getting cut with machetes and axes and spears, getting impaled with spears, and you barely see blood. You definitely don't see any like intestines or anything like that. That is a huge takeaway for me. Is I wish it was rated R. It should have been gorier. But, you know, there are some characters I felt they would have had more of a backstory on, but I understand. There's just so many characters at play, they couldn't really talk about everybody. Also, John Boyega, I really do like him, but I felt in this film I just felt he wasn't the perfect cast for the role. He played the king, and yeah, he was real charismatic and, you know, things like that, but he just didn't. He kind of reminded me of like a mini Denzel. He just looked like a mini Denzel, but his character just didn't seem very intimidating as a king. He was kind of a pushover. Maybe that was the point because his soldiers are so prominent. You know what I'm saying? The women, you know, they're so prominent. And I'm gonna give you a fun fact. The soldiers, the women in Black Panther, they are based off this actual tribe in history. So there you go. But other than that, this is a really triumphant movie, and I don't use that adjective to describe movies a lot, but it's a very triumphant movie. At the end of the film, you're going to want to give it a standing ovation. People were clapping it up all throughout the movie. It's funny. It's straight to the point. The movie the pacing is on point. It's about 2 hours. It's a very, 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 very easy watch. You don't even realize 2 hours passed. It's just, there's not too many action scenes. I think there's maybe 2 or 3, but the action scenes they have are engaging enough to keep you waiting for the next one. And then the storyline itself is it's just very engaging. You know, Viola Davis, I really want to meet her in person. She's so intense on the screen. It's like, I'm an intense person too, so I feel like whenever I do meet her, because I will meet her, whenever I do, I feel like that exchange is gonna be dope. And I guarantee you she's probably not like that in person. She's probably like super laid back and goofy in real life. That's just really how it goes. Anyway, I'm gonna give this movie a 9 out of 10. They thought it was only gonna do 12 million. It's done 19 million. I heard that it took them forever to get this movie made because Hollywood didn't think it was gonna make money because there's no white male leads and there's no white women, big names in this film. And it's just like, have you not learned your lesson already? We don't need that to be successful. Like, come on, man. Those days are over. This is not 1945, bruh. Anyway, Viola Davis does it again. I hope she wins it. You know what I'm saying? She definitely deserves it. Shout out to the rest of the actresses in there. They definitely did their thing. We need more movies like this. We need more movies like this, man. The Woman King, go check it out. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I'm Abwon, man. I'm out of here. Peace.